Hello, friends, and welcome to Talking with Fancy People. Today we're discussing a pretty important matter, a pretty important question, namely, how to be serious. I've been working on being more serious lately. So, as you see, I've moved into this very serious office. It's got some nice urban architecture outside, some tree. It's got this circle on the wall that shows people I'm bland and I'm not afraid to tell you. I'm proud of it. I'm bland and I'm proud. I've got myself sitting here on this wonderful beige couch. If you want to be taken seriously, brown and beige are good colors. They're serious colors. They tell people I'm not screwing around. I'm no clown, you know. I'm not one of those clowns. But they tell people. You wouldn't want to be one of those clowns. What clowns? You know. Those clowns. Those clowns who aren't serious. The jokers, the clowns, the ne'er-do-wells. Oh, I'm serious. That's why I'm sitting here on this couch. As you can see, this beautiful brown couch. I've cut myself in half, unfortunately, in an accident. Pog yourself, man. Pog yourself. I don't have a whole hell of a lot particularly to say this evening. I just felt a little bit like live streaming. I guess I was bored of watching this cartoon, even though I was enjoying it. It was a good cartoon. It wasn't the fault of the cartoon that I got bored of it. It was the fault of me. Something deep inside me is inadequate. That's why I got bored of it. So, anywho, it's not likely to be an especially long live stream tonight. It's not that hard to explain how to be serious. Step 1, be serious. Step 2, seriously. Step 3, I'm serial. Seriously. Be serious. And that's how you be serious. That's how serious I am. That's in addition to the couches and the chairs and stuff. Sigma schmigma. I don't know what exactly that means. I'm not a huge fan of those alpha, beta, delta, sigma things or whatever, like wolf pack, omega, alpha, delta, sigma, omega wolves. Oh, actually, these are my offices in Quebec. They're my wintering offices. I winter in Quebec. My receptionist Diane picked out the art, the wall art there. Eric's on its own Sigma Octotrillion grind set. What do people mean by Sigma? Just like they're a loner? They're a lone wolf or something? Or is that Omega? I can't remember. To the extent that I qualify as either alpha or beta wolf type person, I am more beta-y in the sense that I don't have really time and energy direct towards too much kicking ass and taking names and slaying the puss, you know. It's like, alright, well, those are nice and all, but just let's focus on more ethereal matters. Oh, here comes my dad. Let me unlock this door. Hi. You want me to tell you what it says? You don't have a VPN. You don't use a VPN. A VPN is a virtual private network. So you won't be able to connect to it.
Oh, but I've not had that before. That's the first time I've had that.
Okay, well, I don't know why it popped up or what. I closed it. Yeah, it's you don't use a VPN, so that wouldn't show up as being any VPN connection. We use a regular network. Thanks, Rachel. When have I been the most serious? Well, probably coaching debate in certain periods of my career when I was feeling extra competitive or something. I take the thing pretty seriously. Uh, I've obviously had times of great seriousness associated with what I guess you could call traumatic events. Like, there was a stretch of time after I first found out my first wife was cheating on me that was quite a state of distress, you know. It was very upsetting for a long time. So I was very serious during that period of time. I often find myself serious after visiting with my mom or talking with my dad for a while, which tends to make me think about mortality. Oh, contemporary male socio-sexual hierarchy theory doesn't have anything to do with wolves? Okay. I'll take your word for it. I don't know anything about it or whatever. But the thing to note, of course, is it would seem to only apply when dealing in group settings, right? It's like if you're talking to somebody one-on-one, like let's say I'm talking to a woman one-on-one, then I don't fit into that hierarchy at all, right? Because isn't that something that only applies in when there are groups of males and groups of females? I'm not sure. I guess I'll have to wait for Horse Mumbler's eventual in detail explanation. I don't know. It's just the way it typically is played out on YouTube or on the internet is if you want to slay the puss, you're gonna have to be more alpha male. That's basically what it's played out as on YouTube, and what comprises alpha male is reduced to a bunch of behaviors that correlate with alpha male. You know, like being a dick or something. Here's some good dating advice: be a dick. Is that really good dating advice? Well, that's how you get laid. Yeah, like maybe by shoot chasing after idiots. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, it's such a weak way to be strong. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't have to. You don't have to be a dick to be self-confident, right? I don't want to turn on this light. That's the thing. That's the mysterious thing that everyone's wondering about. Anyhow, someday when I attain a level of importance sufficient to the office, I'm going to be having an office just like this with these brown couches. It's got that great view. It's got that beige wall. It's very calming. People come and they'll sit across from me and say, tell me my type. And I'll say, tell me about your mother. Because that's what psychologists do. Psychiatrists. Therapists. Priests. Whatever you want to call them. There. Hi. Welcome to therapy session. Have a seat over there on that other couch. Over there. On that couch over there. Would you like coffee or water? Yeah, I hope you filled out all our official looking questionnaires before we sat down, because even though I don't look at your answers, it makes you feel like you're getting more out of this product. Right. That's kind of an important point Horse Mumbler makes. In certain kinds of settings, with certain activities at hand, I will defer and afford other people leadership because I assume they know more about it than I do. It's a good point. Like, I'll typically let Hambone take the lead at the Penis Olympics. He's got it, he flaunts it. What can I say? Meanwhile, at the A-Cup Showdown, I'm going to step to the front of the line. Listen, Broccoli Todd, it's true that humans are more complex than fucking wolves, but they're not more complex than wolves in general. Regular non-fucking wolves are quite complex. They're as complex as 10 Rubik's Cubes times together. That's pretty complicated.
Very complicated.
That's the flavor of satisfaction. So, thus far, you probably haven't found this live stream especially entertaining. I apologize for that. I'm working up to the song and dance, the old ha-cha-cha-cha, the exuberance, the enthusiasm, the bright, glowing, welcoming personality that you've come to expect here talking with famous people. But it's taking me a little bit of time to warm up, you know. I'm like an old Chevrolet on a cold winter's morn. You need to pull the choke out. Chevrolet is a great name for a car company. Have I lost weight? I don't think so. I probably have stayed the same weight. It's a beautiful day, cool and gray. Take all the stuff and put it inside the hay and pack it on board. Rum bum ba da, bum ba ba da 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 da. It's a beautiful day, cool and gray. Take all the stuff and put it into the hay and pack it on board. Heel and hoe, then pack it up and it's time to go. Oh, burble and day, cool and gray. Meow, 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 meow. That one, nacho business? It doesn't, you know, I have to sort of make up sea shanty words to it, but it feels like a sea shanty, right? That's the one song I have that feels to me like a sea shanty. It's funny. I actually saw a headline on Google News or something saying like, TikTok brings back the sea shanty.
What? That's so
I
strange.
shit you not. I saw something like that in the on Google News. Look, if TikTok can bring back the sea shanty, I'm convinced I can bring back the Negro spiritual.
Too.
La 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 cotton, la 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 cotton. Classic. That's classic. Well, maybe I should make my sea shanty then. Or maybe I should do it as a short, a YouTube short or something. Or just do it as a video. Sea shanty for general use.
I like that idea.
I could just put a little text up as I'm singing it saying, this says the words and then explains also at the end, like, I heard sea shanties were trending, so why not? I've heard sea shanties have been trending is not a sentence I ever expected to hear myself say. It sounds like a joke from a movie. So, I hope you're all having a pleasant evening. I'm feeling calm. I'm feeling chill. I'm feeling as though Wilma met Bill. I'm feeling nice. I'm feeling twice as good as when I ate some rice. I'm feeling fine. Quite unlike swine. I'm feeling as though I've drunk some wine. I haven't though. But I'm relaxed even so. And we'll have a wonderful time. Thanks. It's my welcome poem to you.
A welcome poem.
Yeah. Rachel and I have had a nice couple of days. I've been pretty pleased with the videos I've been putting up lately. I think they're pretty put together and watchable. I'm being pretty consistent about it. It's starting to maybe come together a bit, you know? I don't live stream too much anymore, but I don't think it really hurts. I just don't think it really helps. And it might hurt a little bit if I live stream too much. But I think my video today about the different axes and sort of like the nickname of them or whatever, I think that was a good video. I watched it and moved quickly. I wasn't bored by it. Were you bored by that? No? Disgusted, huh? Well, I assure you, it wasn't intended to disgust you. It was an unintentional burp in general.
In general?
I got one coming out tomorrow morning as a premiere. It's about ESTPs, ISTPs versus ESTJs, ISTJs. Both of what you might call executing types. Because they've got a physical frame of reference and either you know, SE1 or SE5. So it's like they're all kind of SE valuing, I guess, is the key commonality, or SE displaying, one of the two. Like ESTJs are very, they have very visible demonstrative SE. ISTJs, it's absolute value fifth slot. ISTPs, very visible second slot SE. ESTPs first slot. So I wanted to do a compare and contrast kind of thing about that. How do I feel about Dave and Shannon's objective personality system? I mean, I guess just that it fails on all counts. It's both wrong and ridiculous and and just a mess in every possible way imaginable. How about SFPs? How do I feel? What about them? Why do deliberators have to sacrifice one kind of action and vice versa, likewise for networks interfacers? Well, because when you have a deliberative function as the dominant function, you also have it as the eighth. Your eighth is kind of your most active, most unconscious function. So it's like your most active backslot function in some sense. And as a consequence, a person who's a deliberator will be incorporating deliberations of both sorts into their attentional splay of the day, right? And it's just a matter, it's as simple as this. If you're kind of doubling the deliberation in terms of amount of minutes or hours attending to it, then what are you sacrificing? You have to sacrifice some kind of action. But if you're a deliberator by nature, you also have to have an action as a tool function. So, as a consequence, to be able to both deliberate well with TI and FI underneath the frame of one of them, a person takes action very effectively in only one of the two external frames. XSFPs are executors, yeah, because they both have two experiential functions first. So it's like ISFP, it's FISE, ESFP, it's SEFI. But they're both experience functions, not communication functions. There's a pirate ship sim video game with open voice comms with which a vocal group made a meme of singing sea songs to their random crewmates, and that's how the trend began. I see. So it's not that the youth of the world are taking to the maritime industries en masse, rushing out to become merchant marines. So look, Bubble Puppy, I call the types that have experience function, then communication function, executives. I call the types that have experience function, then experience function, executors. I call the types that have communication function, then communication function, meta-analysts. And the types that have communication function, then experience function, analysts. The meta-analysts are ENTP, INTP, INFJ, ENFJ. The analysts are ENFP, INTJ, ESFJ, and ISTP. No. Yes, ISTP. So ISTPs are not executives. ISTPs are analysts. Okay. So I mistitled that video. I gotta fix that. ISTPs are analysts. Because they have TISE, so it's communication then action. For the executives, you've got ESTP, you've got INFP, ISFJ, and ENTJ. For the executors, you've got the STJs and the SFPs. So it's easy to remember the meta-analysts and the executors. The meta-analysts are the NTPs and the INFJ and the NFJs, whereas the executors are the STJs and the SFPs. But the other two are a little harder to remember. The analysts, you get one of each of the four metaphysical functions represented. So it's NE goes with FI, that's ENFP. NI goes with TE, that's INTJ. FE goes with SI, that's ESFJ, and TI goes with SE, that's ISTP. Those are your analysts. Yeah, I have to fix that. I fucked that up. Thank you for asking that question because I messed it up. I consider ISTPs analysts, not executives. ISTP is executive. ISTP is analyst, ESTP is executive, and then the STJs are both executors. So I have to fix that title. Thank you for pointing out my error. Thanks a lot, Bubble Puppy. Now my feelings are hurt. What? I was wrong about something? Wah. My impression of an FI person. Is that mean? It's a little bit mean. I'm sorry, FI people. I love your moist feelings. I think they're fantastic. Your feelings make the world go round.
I love you, moist feelings.
Thanks, darling. Actually, I don't think it's your feelings that make the world go round. I think it might be centrifugal force. Maybe it's somebody a long time ago ran really fast and made the earth start spinning and it just never stopped since. Do you think if we all I don't compare them both as execution types. It just says that in the title. I say ISTP is an analyst type. I just screwed up in the title, hopefully. Hopefully I didn't screw it up in the whole video. I don't think I did. Yeah, I think I just screwed up in the title. I have to fix the title. Which type is the most annoying? Not your business. I think we all know the answer to that question, so let's just not say it out loud. Because that's mean to them, even if they are annoying. I mean, look, obviously ISTPs use SE to execute things, but they're first and foremost deliberators of communication, and that's why they are analysts. I mean, not your business says, what about the feature of putting masculine and feminine modalities with the function seems legit? Yeah, I mean, why? Why does it seem legitimate? What makes it seem legitimate? What's the explanation there? So I can use introverted thinking to negate or affirm. If I'm using it to negate, am I using it in a masculine fashion? If I'm using it to affirm, am I using it in a feminine fashion? It's silly. It's a silly added on notion that doesn't explain anything. It's the answer to a question no one asked, you know? It's like, what does it purport to explain? Why is it a necessary addition to things? Why do ESXPs get the reputation of being hoes? I know plenty who aren't. Well, I think the reputation comes from the fact that SC-DOMs can be a big presence, and ESFPs are sort of famous for doing what they want right now, which is SEFI. ESTPs, I think the reputation is more for the dudes, but if you do in fact carry yourself with quite a bit of like presence in the moment, depending on how you carry yourself, that may exude as a certain sexual dynamism. You know, it's like there's definitely something to. There's definitely some sort of linkage between extroverted sensing and sex. Like, I think an ESTP male, for example, is more likely to find FE gratification in sex than an ENTP is. In other words, I think ESTP is more well positioned to enjoy being a big pimp, quote unquote, whereas ENTP is just not that. I personally, I find that directing much energy towards chicks and stuff has always felt like a poor use of time, or something I had to finish with because I had to get back to doing normal things, you know? Like, I can't spend all this time like chatting up this chick and that chick and the other chick and trying to bat on them and being all like if you want to be a player. And the thing is, like, after my second marriage, I was trying to, you know, be a single guy and move on chicks or whatever. I put a lot of effort into like Facebook messaging and stuff, and this one chick in particular, and once it paid off, I was like, was that really worth it? Was it worth all that time just to poke that girl? Probably not. It was probably not worth all the time. You know, it's like, it's just, there's no way I could sustain being like that for very long. It just feels like a waste of time. Which types are good at playing reverse psychology? I mean, I don't think there's really anybody good at reverse psychology. I think there are people who are susceptible to it, maybe, and they probably comprise the minority. It's commonplace, and it's enough of a commonplace, well-known thing that that most people have some wariness towards it or awareness of it as a possible thing that could be utilized against them. Although maybe I'm overestimating people's sort of analysis of that kind of thing in the moment. I don't know. It's probably not going to be a particularly long live stream. tonight.
You look good on that couch.
I look good on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks. I've got all these little gray specks flying around me. That means my soul is disintegrating. If it were anime, I think that's what it would mean. It means my soul was splitting. I'm going to heaven.
Yeah.
I do have something I'd like to, even though it's rough. Oh, here comes my dad again. Let's see what he's worried about this time.
You can pass it over then.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Discover new fish, indeed.
Let's see Mom rating. That's pretty cool. Well, it's good to have these little videos to get kind of baselines of how she's doing and stuff too, you know. Data to compare.
Discover new fish, indeed.
What does she say?
You.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Dad. Okay, so yeah, that can be kind of challenging to explain to an bipolar and also an octogenarian that his Norton security thing has this red flag that, you know, basically says VPN not engaged. Well, yeah, we're not using a VPN, and there's no reason for us to use a VPN. We're not in China. I had to use a VPN when I was in China so I could get good internet, like unfiltered internet, you know. Well, sorry about the long silence there. My dad's been out of town for a few days in Vegas, and it's nice to see him again, and I'm happy to chat with him for a few minutes. I was planning on playing for everybody this bag of poo, as it's called, which is in progress. But it's starting to feel like it might come together into something worthwhile. And let me play it for you right now, as soon as I check the audio settings. Ooh. Pyow. Piggity. Pyo. Pew. It's a very cloudy day in Los Angeles, though the day has barely begun. Struggles past, troubles still to come. The day has just begun. We should have us enough time. Cloudy day in Los Angeles, rainy day in LA. I've asked all sorts of evangelists, but they've got nothing to say. It's a very crowded day in Los Angeles, and the day is halfway done. Hurdles jumped, burdens still to come. The day is halfway done. Will we have us enough time? Cloudy day in Los Angeles, rainy day in LA. I'm no sort of evangelist, but I've got something to say. Life can strangely be forgiving to those who play away the night, and voices telling you to give in. your will to fight. But whether I'm supposed to linger or just be soon forgotten noise sort of depends on what I sing, but also on what I avoid. It was a very cloudy day in Los Angeles, but today we ran out of time. Well, there it is. The thing is, that's interesting about that is I've been working on trying to record that thing for a while, and I started out with a click track, and it didn't really come together with a click track. I talked to Rachel about, what the drums should be. She said keep it basic, just kick, snare, put some hats on top, and then I spent a lot of caring time and not time, a lot of care setting up the mics exactly as they should be for the recording of both the vocals and the guitar, and it made a big difference. It's just like I really feel like it took me a week of bad TE to remember to use good TE and approach this more intelligently. Well, Chris Chapin, at the moment, the drums don't change at all throughout the whole thing. It's just the same drums. As it comes together, I'll play around with exactly what I want the hats to be. It's like I haven't done anything with the drums yet, except I record each of the kick and the snare and the hats and the open hat. Each is its own track from LMS, and then beyond that, I haven't edited it at all. So yeah, the drums will start to change some as I work on it more. I tried to lay down a bass line with my guitar and pitch shifted, and it just sounded like such crap. I just can't. I cannot take the pitch shifted guitar as bass anymore. I have to get a bass. I think the song would be well served by some very simple bass underneath it that just basically plays like half notes on each of the changes, something like that. I've got a couple of vocal harmonies I want to do, a couple bits of the vocals I need to re-record, but the smarter I do something, it's the old adage, work smarter, not harder. For me, it's an incredibly true thing. I could do that too, Horse Mumbler. I could see if Ruse Moose wants to put down drums for it. I know, pretty. That's just the way the universe works, Oliver Linehan. Sometimes it hands you 6 ISTPs in a row, and sometimes it hands you an ESTJ and an ISTJ. Life is like a cox of bocklets. Okay? You never know what hole it's going to plunge into. You know that old saying, right? Life is like a cox of bocklets. Please, don't put your cock in my bocklet. What's your bocklet? It's my butt pocket. It's small, so I call it a bocklet. What do you mean, your anus? Yes. It's my butt pocket. That's where my poo lives. Let's not visit the place where the poo lives. Let's stay at home instead. You wanna go there where the poo lives. I wonder what's in your head. Let's not go where the poo lives. Let's stay home instead. You wanna go where that poo lives. What's inside your head? Why you wanna go there where you know there's poo? That's a strange thing to wanna do. Not your business. I have to tell you about salvia. I wouldn't recommend it. The thing is, if you do a reasonable amount of it or the right amount of it or something, it makes you feel like this. Like everything's going like this. I don't know how else to explain it. But one time I got some salvia and I took a really big hit of it at my pot dealer's house back in the day, and the next thing I know, I'm like standing in his garage and he's like standing next to me and he's like, hey, you know, I'm like, what happened? Apparently I went inside of his house and like started talking to his wife or something. I have no recollection. It was just like I hit it, and the next thing I know, I'm standing there, and he's like, "Hey, what are you okay?" So after that, I didn't do salvia anymore. Yeah, salvia is not particularly fun either. It's not like it's gonna make you go woo-hoo, hippity-doo. It's kind of like a super brief acid trip, kind of, if you do a certain amount of it. You know, Rachel did something really good the other day, which is she reminded me of the importance of an expression I just don't say often enough, and I don't hear said often enough. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. It's good advice. You know, really, isn't that what life's all about? Let's be honest. If we're being serious now, okay?
Yeah.
Let's be serious. So what level was I at, Horse Mumbler? Level where you do shit, where you're yourself 1 second, yourself the next second, and you've done stuff in between without any recollection at all of it? Like not even the slightest memory of doing it.
That's crazy. Like, you like teleported, but...
If Dave's superpowers were cool, his things wouldn't be eat, sleep, play, and blast. It'd be eat, sleep, rave, repeat. You know? We's got to work our way up to our big Indiana trip, where we're gonna be raving all night long like a bunch of ravers at a rave. It's gonna be non-stop pacifiers and glow sticks. And drum and bass. It sounds like boo, boo. Those kind of bass drums, you know.
Yeah. Boo.
And then she's gonna be playing Eraser of Love for like on loop for 6 hours. By then, Eraser of Love. Eat, sleep, pray, repeat, motherfuckers.
Oh, trouble. You won't let us pet you.
Disco, of course, was worse. It had worse drugs. Rachel got stuck. Rachel just closed her dress in the door, and then tried to walk away and discovered that she had been trapped by the door. Cannabis doesn't bring out shit. It brings out your mom's face to my dick. Not your business. All I gotta do is shake out a bag of weed and your mom comes running. Well, yeah, look, obviously disco was a worse fad because disco was fueled by cocaine, which is a stupid drug. Raves were fueled by meth and ecstasy. Can't go wrong there. And a razor rub it up. Listen, I just have a few words of advice. If I had the mic for just 1 minute to tell people, the world, the advice I think should apply to everybody, would be this. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Can't go wrong with that advice. It's never a good idea to chase waterfalls. You can't ever tell when you've caught them. Whatever it is you're going to do all your time doing, you should have some sort of metric for success. If you're just chasing waterfalls, how do you know when you successfully chased and caught one? You don't.
How do you know if you caught one?
You don't.
So that's why TLC says don't go chasing waterfalls?
Right. They're warning you it's a futile endeavor.
Oh.
It's the proverbial dog chasing its own tail.
Oh.
Even if it catches it, then what?
Yeah, then what?
You can't remove it from its own butt.
These are really good questions.
I've got some more worldly advice for the world that comes in the form of famous songs, okay? So, for example, everybody needs a little time away. Just a day. From the one that they love. It's true. A little bit of time away, it doesn't kill you. Rachel went to the mall by herself today. Sure, we were apart for, I don't know, 2.5 hours before I called her. What's going on? Where are you? Jeez.
That's how I feel too.
You know, not your business. You and me both. And Peter Cetera. It's hard for me to say I'm sorry. I want you to know.
Look at that passion.
You know, the other thing I want to explain to everybody here, and I speak this to each and every one of you independently. Your kiss is on my list of the best things in life. It's true. Alan Bryan, have I mentioned to you that your kiss is on my list of the best things in life?
Did you air kiss?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. I did. But I should also mention that I can't go for that. Oh, no can do. So if what I'm referring to specifically is anal. I can't go for that. No, you're not gonna put that up my butt.
No can do.
No can do. No can do. Sometimes I feel like I want a new drug. The kind that won't make you sick. The kind that won't make you meow meow meow. Or make you meow meow meow. It's not really a drug, it's love that I want, it turns out. That's the new drug, it's just love. It's not a drug.
It's not a drug.
That's what makes it such a heartwarming song. Unlike Robert Palmer's bad influence of a song, Might As Well Face It, You're Addicted to Drugs. Might as well face it, you're addicted to drugs. See, my point is, why are you trying to just write people off as being addicted to drugs, Robert Palmer? And what's with those ladies in those slinky dresses? It's just, your branding sucks. Your branding sucks ass. Okay, you think you're so suave, but your branding sucks ass. Let's not tell lies to each other. Love is the new meth. It is. It really is. One that won't make you nervous, tell you what to do. One that makes me feel like I would feel when I'm with you. When I'm alone with you. Yeah.
That's what, I mean, like, I feel like we should be singing Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls to Trouble.
Trouble's been chasing some serious waterfalls lately.
He really has been.
Let me put on my formal hair. There. Alright. Now everybody can respect me a lot more. I've got hair. Have I had a spiritual awakening on psychedelics? No. I've had a few spiritual unsleepenings. Psychedelics don't give you any spiritual awakening. That's just silly. There's no magic to being on drugs. That's what it boils down to. Don't use that excuse to do drugs. That's a very silly ENFP style excuse. ENFPs fall for that shit. You don't want to play Doors of Perception are opening. It's freaking gaff. That's not what drugs are for Christ's sakes. No, well, people respect a man with a full head of hair. And if it's as full and glorious as this, they don't even mind if it's a little bit sloppy. Yeah, I got that surfer thing going on. I'm an OG ESFP or something,
Yeah.
Weed allowed you to unlock NE? No, it didn't. That's not true. You either don't understand weed, don't understand unlock, or don't understand NE. Maybe you don't understand me. Meaning you. I don't know. Maybe you don't understand what that word means, but it depends on how you define magic. Well, I mean, look, drugs are as magical as things get in the world by themselves. Adding an extra level of magical meaning it's almost spitting in the face of the real magic of the thing, Weed grounded you and took away your phone privileges. Yeah, weed's crazy like that. It does all kinds of things. By and large, the impact of a drug is not on a function like that, but rather links to slots. So it might be the case that, say, Adderall kicks your dominant even more into gear than it normally is in terms of its relationship with the fourth, and it kicks your eighth into gear more than it normally is in terms of your relationship to your fourth, I guess, probably, but fourth, fifth, you know. The thing is, that's going to be slot related, not function related. And see, that's a nice thing. That's a nice thing we can say about weed. Weed does cause people to get a little paranoid, especially if they don't smoke it very often. And that's not related to cognitive functions. That's just one of the impacts of the drug. One of the effects of the drug that makes you paranoid. If you don't smoke it very often and you're whatever. Well, why wouldn't she? By February 2020, news was coming out about it. If it does, then that means that's your dominant. One of those is your dominant function. So basically, you just ignored what I said completely. I just explained to you that it doesn't work like that. But that's fine. Why bother explaining things? I don't know. No, but I disagree with you. My disagreement's legitimate, Eric. It's just as legitimate as your opinion on this. Well, okay, fine, whatever. You're still fucking wrong. What's something they call life in the big city. The burden of being Eric. So heavy. I am constantly suffering under the burden of self. Eric, get off my shoulders.
I like these expressions of exhaustion.
Right. Oliver, I believe it. I had to explain to Michelle today in a comment. Well, she just said, well, actually, I think C.S. Joseph says, meow. That in your youth, you're in your ego, and your meow, and your super ego, and your meow. It's like, that's like saying, in your youth, you practice your left hand, in your young adulthood, you practice your right hand, and in your majority of your adulthood, you're ambidextrous. It might make sense from some sort of logic, from some sort of TE logic, right? Well, that seems like a good plan. But that's not how people actually are at all. And it wouldn't actually be a good plan. The fact is, you don't want to spend time every time you go to a doorknob trying to decide which hand to use. You want there to be a reflexive choice. Why? Because otherwise you waste a lot of time opening doors, you know, and everything else that requires you to just reach out automatically and grab it. You don't want to have to pause and go, well, which hand should I use? And the only way to avoid that is to default to one. So it's the same way with cognitive functions. You can see it's just a bit, well, you're in your super ego. What does that mean? Does it mean you're using those cognitive functions?
Hi, Trouble.
If so, that's just insane.
Hello. Do you want us to pet you?
This cat Trouble is really being a lot of trouble lately. He's coming around, he's meowing at Pee-Pee. I think he wants to hump her, but she's never going to come to heat because she's fixed. And he's sort of taking over the porch here. And it's like we can't walk outside without him like coming up to us and meowing us.
Yeah, he meows at us. And we don't know what he wants.
Sometimes he wants food, sometimes he just seems to.
Well, meow.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Like, he wants to be our pet, but, like, not.
You're an ESTP now, huh? Oh, okay. Well, when in doubt, just remember these simple words of advice: eat, sleep, rave, repeat. What's beautiful is this is invisible thanks to the green screen. Got my invisibility cloak on it. You have no idea what I'm doing. It's a complete mystery. You have to stop thinking about what the purpose of Adderall is or not. The effect of Adderall is to make some people extend the time frame of what's generally referred to as executive functions, the ability to make a decision and follow through on it. It impacts which people like that? Those who are typically action types, because those are the ones most likely to be diagnosed with ADHD. So, yeah, does it impact action types by causing them to extend the time frame of their executive functions? Yes. Does that mean that they will complete more things or do more things or execute more tasks? Yeah. It doesn't mean they'll necessarily be more productive in the eyes of themselves or others, not necessarily. And it definitely doesn't impact non-action types that way necessarily. So it can impact knowers that way. SI DOMs are likely to get chatty on it, which means it sort of kicks into gear their 4-slot in an E maybe. NI DOMs are likely to be enthusiastic about undertaking projects or something. Might also get a little chatty, but you know, more on the receiving end than the giving end, I guess. Well, Horsemonger, yeah, I know that. He's one of our pets now, but we're going to have to get him to understand that there's an appropriate, even as one of our pets, there's still appropriate behavior and inappropriate behavior and such, right? So he needs to get that our cat, first and foremost, is Capillo. Yes, we've been nice to Trouble and given him food and such. And that's fine. But we've also always sided with Capillo, and every time there was a conflict between the two of them. So we've not misled him in any way regarding that. We've never let him inside the house, and we've shooed him away on multiple occasions when he was bothering Capillo. So he needs to understand that his status is unique to him, and he's going to have to adhere to the status that we have afforded him, which is he can come over and expect food. That's fine, and he's welcome to hang out around here, but he can't push Capillo around or make her relocate or something, because right now he's like sexually harassing her.
He really is. She's inside the bedroom right now. She wanted me to take her there. She hasn't been like that since we've covered up the hole from the bathroom.
Not your business. The problem with being an NE or SE dominant person is that the action function is absolute, and it's an implicit frame of reference for the person, whereas the tool function is instrumental. So an action type will always be, probably by their own analysis and by the analysis of others, inadequately deliberative, because after all, they're not deliberators, they're action types, and the deliberation function is instrumental. So naturally, if you extend the time frame of the executive functions, which is to say a person's basically more motivated when they take amphetamines. What they're more motivated to be or do has a lot to do with who they are. So since much of being includes some sort of doing, most people will probably report some increase of some sort of doing. But ultimately, it makes you more positively motivated to be who you are because it floods your brain with dopamine. And what who you are is, well, that's going to depend on your cognitive function stack. So that's just it. That's all there's to say about it, I guess. I have already started spraying them with water. Right now I just do it like this. Because I don't really have a squirt. I gotta get a squirt bottle.
Yeah, we don't have a squirt bottle, so we like, with our fingers, we'll toss water at him. But it's just, I don't know what to do. I feel so like, he doesn't listen.
You know what he is? He's a sweet talking guy, talking sweet kind of lie. Don't you believe in him? If you do, he'll make you cry. He'll send you flowers and paint the town with another girl. He's a sweet talking guy, my kind of guy, my kind of guy, sweet talking guy. Sweeter than sugar, ooh, kisses like wine. Don't let him under your skin, 'cause you'll never win. He'll be in love today, tomorrow he's on his way. He's a sweet talking guy, my kind of guy, my kind of guy. Stay away from him, bam. 'Cause you know you'll never win. No, you'll never win. Me. Yeah, she's fixed. I mean, he's clearly. It's weird because there's been a sudden shift in his behavior about a week ago. Prior to which, we'd see him occasionally.
Yeah, he came
and then
for food.
He'd come for food, maybe once a day, maybe twice a day. Sometimes he'd skip a day. And then, he'd mostly go someplace else and do his own thing. Like, starting like a week ago, he came over and started being all like, I'm here to make love. It seemed to me that, well, horseman alert, a little bit of water's not going to hurt him. He knows, but he can already tell when I'm like, okay, that's enough. You were pushing it now, mister. So I get on my serious wig. So you can tell I mean business, right? I don't want to mess with this guy. This guy looks like a pushover. Look at that baldy. You can push him over easy, but the guy with all that hair, no way. He's tough.
I think you're pretty tough.
He's tough enough to face down a real live male cat. Alright, I'm gonna wrap it up. Head on in, lie down with Rachel, and live in sin. Yeah, he's already skittish and he can read our moods already, so we're managing it. But it's weird that it just happened all of a sudden after a long time of being in one equilibrium. There's a sudden state change to this new status quo, and hopefully it's not a permanent one.
That's what we're hoping.
It's normally the girl who goes into heat, and that makes the male Randy, right? But
yeah.
Our only guess is there aren't any other girl cats around.
Yeah, that's what our guess is.
And so even though she's not in heat, he sort of keeps waiting for her to go into heat.
Oh, it's terrible.
Homeowner is the only word in the English language that contains the word meow. That is absolutely fascinating.
It is fascinating.
One of the most fascinating things I've learned in a long time. Homeowner is the only word in the English language that contains within it the word meow. Wow.
I know that was a wow.
That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. That's gonna keep me awake for weeks thinking about that. All right, thanks for being here. Rachel and I love you all. You're always welcome to join us here on the Beige Couches. Talking with famous people, the professional style beige couches. We put a lot of time and energy into making these couches, believe me.
Yes.
We manufacture them ourselves from real live beaver fur. All right then, good night.